Hi guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly. Hopefully you're doing well wherever you are. Tonight we're going to be previewing the game against Granada, the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final against Granada. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's the proper tie, this one. I know there's some people who were, really thinking that we weren't even going to get this far. But you know what? We're here, and I'll tell you what, Granada are not a bad side. Listen here, this is going to be one hell of a tie because our record against Spanish teams is terrible, especially in the Europa League. I can't remember the last team we beat over two legs, apart from Real Sociedad. I think before Sociedad, we had a really poor record against Spanish opposition. So, as I said, this is going to be a very, very interesting tie. So, I'm telling you, it's not going to be a walk in the park. And if you're thinking that, then, I mean, fair play for your optimism, but I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park at all. But thanks to everyone who does join. Really appreciate it. If you're watching as a video, please do make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Love interacting with your comments, so please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below if you're watching as a video, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And I see that Jamie's joined us as well. Thanks for joining, Jamie. Always good to have you with us. And also Owen as well. Thanks for joining. He says, we beat Bayern comfortably over two legs. I'm not sure, mate. I know they're not having a good time of it right now, but I'm really not sure about that just yet. But listen, again, I like the optimism. Trust me, I like the optimism. But at the end of the day, I'm being a bit cautious because, I'm not someone who underestimates teams, and I know that some people are underestimating Granada. Yes, we should beat them. I'm not sitting here and saying we shouldn't beat them. But my philosophy on it is that, Granada have got to the quarterfinals, and to get to the quarterfinals of any competition, you've got to demand respect, and they do demand respect. They've got some decent players in their team, but I think they're a decent team. They're not a group of individuals. As a team, they're going to be very difficult to break down. So it's going to be an interesting game. It really is. But the first game will be in Granada, and I want to ask you guys whether that really suits us. I'm not too sure. I'm not, because I think it can go either way, really. But, if we can get a few away goals, if we can keep a clean sheet, it'll be a massive advantage going into the game at Old Trafford. Jamie says, won't be easy, but Real Sociedad are a much better side than Granada. Yeah, definitely on paper. I mean, that's what I'm saying, 100%. We should win this game. We should. But, in a knockout phase of a European competition, anything can happen, so you've got to keep that in mind. But I totally agree that we should be beating this Granada side because we did very well against Sociedad. And to be fair, going into the Sociedad game, I was very similar. I was thinking that, this is not going to be an easy game. I thought Sociedad were going to dominate most of possession, and I was thinking it was going to be a much more difficult task than it turned out being. We went to Sociedad 1-4-0, and it was very, very comfortable. So I'm hoping it's the same. Fingers crossed it's the same. Kobe's joined us as well. Thanks for joining, Kobe. Always good to see you, my friend, as well. He's saying, watch out for Darwin Makis. Really good left winger, pacey and really good at crossing. We'll be watching out for him, I'm sure. And a host of other players as well. Roberto Soldado, of course, plays for them. Even the Brazilian guy, I can't remember his name, Kennedy, who used to play for Newcastle, or might be on loan from Newcastle, or either that, or he used to play for them. The Brazilian centre midfielder, Kennedy, now plays for them as well. So they've got a few players that you guys will recognise and will recognise. But ultimately, I think they're much more of a decent group they're a team. They're, as individuals, they're not brilliant. As individuals on paper, we should wipe the floor with them. But as a team, they're kind of like teams like Slavia Prague and Dinamo Zagreb and these guys who, on paper aren't that great. There's no names that really jump out at you. But as a team, they can be very, very difficult to break down, and they've got that spirit. And also what Granada have is nothing to lose, and that's something in these competitions which can be very, very dangerous indeed. Jamie saying we need to keep a clean sheet tomorrow and a 3-0 win, or even a 2-0 win. Hey, I'd take a win. But, listen, going away to Spain is something that United have found very difficult. Obviously, apart from the Granada win, I can't remember the last time we beat Spanish opposition in Europe away from home. I think the last time we beat them, the last time we beat them before Real Sociedad in European competitions was actually in 2008 against Barcelona, where Paul Scholes pranged one into the top corner. That was the last time we'd actually beaten a Spanish team in a one-off game in a European competition. So our record against Spanish teams, especially in the Europa League, has been very, very poor. But obviously times change, and this is a new United side. So I'm fairly confident we can get the job done. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I am a little bit cautious. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my personality. Owen says, comfy tomorrow. Probably the worst team in the comp. 4-0 United. I mean, on paper, yeah. That's the sort of way we should be thinking. But in the Europa League, it's never that simple. It really is never that simple. But 4-0 United, obviously, I'll be coming back to this comment if we do win the 4-0, and I'll be jumping for joy, trust me. But it just never seems that easy with United. It never seems that easy. Kobe's going with a 2-0 win to Manchester United. But in all honesty, I agree with what Jamie said earlier. If we keep a clean sheet, if we come out of this game having scored at least a goal and kept a clean sheet, a massive advantage going into the game at Old Trafford. Massive advantage. I think if we are going to get an away goal, you'd rather 2 away goals because, let's be honest, having 1 away goal, it can get cancelled out very, very quickly. I mean, for example, when we played Sociedad, if we'd only won that game in Sociedad 1-0, they got a penalty in the first, 2 minutes of the game. And if they scored that, the goal was cancelled out. So there's moments in games which can just completely just switch up a game in kind of a matter of moments. So this is the thing that you have to be careful of. And I think if you are going to go away from home, you want to win by the most amount. I know that's like Michael Owen punditry, but you know what I mean. It's simple. We've got to keep a clean sheet away from home and then just win the game. And if you do that, it's a massive, massive advantage going into the home leg. Box has joined us. Thanks for joining, Box. Appreciate it. Yeah, cheers for joining, guys, as well. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Also says, money Mace. I'll tell you what, Mason Mount for Chelsea. I'm not sure if you're referring to Mason Mount. But yeah, Mason Mount is, tearing up for Chelsea, to be fair. Scored that goal. I'm not sure what the score is. You guys can update me on what the Chelsea score is right now. But I know Mason Mount scored a beautiful goal in the first half. A lovely turn and finish. I think the goalkeeper could have done a little bit better. But you know what? It was a brilliant finish from him. So yeah, fair play, Mason Mount. You got to say, as an England fan as well, it's encouraging. Jamie's 11. He goes with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Tuanzebe, Telles, Fred, McTominay, Greenwood, Fernandes, James, and Cavani. And you know what? I think that's a completely fair lineup. I think, Tuanzebe going in there is an interesting choice. I think you'll pick Lindelof. I think, obviously, Lindelof did the press conference with Solskjaer, and usually when a player's sitting next to Solskjaer in the press conference, it means they're going to start, more or less. So I would put Lindelof in there instead of Tuanzebe. Obviously, Alex Telles going in there at left back, and you know what? Europa League, you're probably right with that. Fred, McTominay, Greenwood, Fernandes, James, and Cavani. And yeah, I think as well, there's some talk about who United are going to go with up top because, Rashford seemed to come off against Brighton with a bit of an injury. Martial's in a knee brace as well. So we've got injuries all over the shop up front. So that is something that Ollie is going to have to manage. He's going to have to manage that properly. Yeah, and Cavani, as long as Cavani's not injured, I don't think there was any news on whether he's injured or not. I think he came off against Brighton a little bit gingerly, but yeah, he looked alright. So hopefully he'll be ready for that game. K-Side, thanks for joining. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. He says, are you watching Champions League at the moment? No, I'm doing this stream at the moment. I don't have any TVs or anything above me, so I'm not really watching any of the Champions League. So if you guys could keep me up to date, that would be absolutely fantastic. And Brendan's joining us. Thanks for joining, Brendan. Appreciate it. He says, don't expect Man United to blow Granada away tomorrow. We'll go into it purely to get a result, as we need to keep the players fresh. They won't overdo it. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's what I've been saying. I feel like United won't blow Granada away. I actually think that, the fact that Granada have got to the quarterfinals, means they're a decent side. They're a side to be reckoned with. So we can't just go into it kind of, thinking it's going to be an absolute walkover, because I don't think it is. I mean, I hope it is. I hope I'm absolutely wrong on that, but I just don't see it being that. But at the same time, we did go to Sociedad and we were thinking the exact same way. We were thinking that Sociedad were going to blow us away, or at least they were going to give us a really, really good game in Sociedad. And then, you know what? We went there and took them apart. It was one of the most impressive performances I've seen from United in a while. So I've got to give it to them. Quality, absolute quality. Kobe's 11 is Hendo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Tuanzebe, Shaw, McFred, Greenwood, Bruno, James, and Cavani. So actually very similar to Jamie's 11, except he's gone with Dean Henderson between the sticks instead of David De Gea. And I tell you what, that is a bit of a debate point, which we'll get into, because I don't know. obviously De Gea's coming back from having his kid and stuff. And I don't know whether Solskjaer is going to put De Gea back in. I feel like De Gea is too good of a goalkeeper to sit on the bench. But at the same time, Henderson has been the Europa League goalkeeper. Do you risk swapping Dean Henderson out? That's the question that I think is on everyone's lips. And it's an interesting one to answer. It really is. And also he's gone for Tuanzebe as well. So I don't think Tuanzebe's going to start because I think Lindelof was in the presser. So I reckon Tuanzebe's probably going to be on the bench for this one. But I mean, unless he goes to a back five, I just don't see Tuanzebe getting in the team. To be fair, I didn't actually watch the presser really in full, but I did see that in the thumbnail, Lindelof was sitting next to him, and I was like, yeah, he's definitely starting, 100% starting. And boxes 11 is De Gea, Williams, Maguire, Tuanzebe, Shaw, McTominay, Van der Beek, Pogba, Greenwood, Cavani, and James. He's gone with Donny Van der Beek, the Don, in the midfield alongside McTominay and Pogba. So actually no Fernandes in that team. No Fernandes in that starting team. To be fair, I think Ollie will definitely go with Fernandes 100% in the starting team. Because, he never starts a game without Fernandes. I mean, to be fair, he did start the Leicester game without Fernandes, and that didn't really plan out very well, so I don't think he's going to do that too often. But I'd like to see Van der Beek play, definitely. I think this could be a good opportunity for him to get in the side. I mean, there's been so many opportunities that if he doesn't get in the side this time, I don't know when he is, to be honest, I really don't. But yeah, I think Van der Beek, for me, would be a great player to get into this team. Tuanzebe as well. So a lot of people going with Tuanzebe. A lot of people going for Tuanzebe. I'll actually be building my 11 live on stream, so you guys can have your say in the live chat as we go through that. It'll be a different little feature. So yeah, very interesting indeed. Actually, I don't have the tab up, which is annoying. I'll probably have to get that up soon. But yeah, Cavani, obviously, Daniel James. Tell you what, Daniel James's form in the Europa League has been very, very solid, to be fair to him. So I think he's definitely earned a start. He's been solid throughout this Europa League campaign. Brilliant against Sociedad. And actually very good against AC Milan as well. So he's definitely earned that start. He's 100% earned that start. And also he's put Brandon Williams in there as well, which I'm not sure if Brandon Williams is going to get a game. Obviously, his reasoning is that Wan-Bissaka, Bruno and Rashford should all be rested. And you know what? I don't mind that at all. I really don't mind that reasoning at all. But I think if I was predicting what Solskjaer's going to do, I don't see him giving a rest to at least Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes. I reckon he might give a rest to Rashford because you've got ready-made replacements in Daniel James and Mason Greenwood. But I think he will probably go with Wan-Bissaka and Bruno in the team. I might be wrong, and you know what, with Solskjaer, it's very easy to be wrong when you're predicting his team selections because they're all over the place sometimes. Brennan says if Telles isn't injured, he will start. And I think you're right. I think the fact that Shaw's been playing week in, week out. He played for England as well. He's had a lot of games recently, and the last thing we want to do in this run-in towards the end of the season is have Luke Shaw injured. Oh my God, that would be one of the worst bits of news you'd wake up to. Luke Shaw being out for the rest of the season. We need him to stay fit, man. We need him to stay fit in this run-in to the end of the season. So I think Telles, you know what, it wouldn't be the worst thing to start him. Yeah, I think there's definitely question marks over his defending that need to be answered, but he's not the worst option here. And let's be honest, even though I think we should respect Granada and I think they're going to give us a decent game, I don't think there's really many players that we should be fearing too much on their side. So I think giving Telles a start is a real possibility, and you know what, he's done it in past Europa League games, so I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Box says, but harsh on Telles, but I'd start Luke Shaw in every game. Our informed player, in great shape, quite a game changer for us. I mean, I agree. Listen, Luke Shaw is probably the player of the moment right now at Manchester United. He is our form player of the last few months, really. So, there's no doubt that, if you could start Luke Shaw every game and guarantee that he's going to come off the pitch safe and sound and start the next game at 100%, I would be down for that. But my only issue is that I'm not sure that Luke Shaw can do that. You look at his history with injuries and all this sort of thing. I just don't know if we should risk it. I really don't. But I see what you're saying. If you could guarantee that Luke Shaw was going to be fit, 100% I would start him in every game. but I don't think you can guarantee that. Ben says Mata might get minutes. I heard he was back in training. I mean, that's good to hear. And you know what? In the Europa League, even last season, he's been an asset for us. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mata got a few minutes, even if it was just as a substitute. He knows Spanish clubs, he knows that Spanish way of playing, so it might not be the worst thing. As I said, he did very well against Sevilla and Copenhagen after the restrictions were lifted last season when we had our Europa League campaign. He was actually probably the best player over those 2 games, so I wouldn't mind seeing it. Obviously, we'd have to sacrifice a little bit of pace, but you know what? Mata has played well for us recently, so I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't mind seeing Juan Mata in the team. But you know what? It is now time. It is now time to build my starting 11. So I'm going to get the thing up and we're going to build the starting 11. I know you guys have had your say, but we will build the starting 11 live on stream for you guys. And you guys can have your say on my picks. But I have got my idea of what it should be in my head. So let's just get this up on the sharing of the screen. Let's see what happens here. Right, let's share that. Okay, there we go. Look at this. This is breathtaking technology. This is unbelievable stuff here. Who would have thought in 2021? Okay, let's get the right formation. It's not really well. It's kind of that. We may as well just leave it at that. It's not really like that, but you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go from the bottom down. So my goalkeeper, I think he will go for Dean Henderson in goal. For me, I feel like he will go back to Dean Henderson. I think that I know De Gea's coming back, and you know what? I'd love to see De Gea back between the sticks for United because I feel like he is a quality goalkeeper, and I think that some people are disrespecting him a little bit too much. Oh, look at that! But at the same time, Henderson has been very, very good for us, especially in the Europa League. So I don't see how you can drop him. I really don't. Potentially, we could look at bringing De Gea back in for a few Premier League games because I think that's where De Gea will want to play. But I think when you've got a consistent cup goalkeeper, that's where you want to be playing him. And for me, Dean Henderson goes in that goalkeeper spot. We can already fill out one of the centre-back spots, and that is Harry Maguire. He will always play for Manchester United, no doubt about that, so we can fill that in. I actually think, contrary to what some of you guys have said, I think he will put the Spider in at right back, and Wan-Bissaka. I think even though we have seen some reports that he might be dropped, might do some rotation, we do have Brandon Williams, of course, who could come in for him, but I just think Ollie's going to be cautious going into this game, away from home in Granada. It's not going to be plain sailing. So for me, he's going to go with Wan-Bissaka on that right back spot. In terms of the second centre back, I think he's going to go with Victor Lindelof. I'm sure you guys saw, if you watched the press conference, that Victor Lindelof was actually the centre back that was in the press conference sitting next to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And usually when that's the case, we always see Lindelof starting. So that is why I go with Victor Lindelof next to Harry Maguire, and it's the partnership we've seen most consistently as well. On the left back, I am going to go with Alex Telles. Obviously, Luke Shaw is definitely the form left back right now, but Alex Telles goes in there for me at left back. I think there's no doubt that he has been very, very good for us when he has come in. His defending is definitely questionable, but we need to give Luke Shaw a bit of a rest. I think you can't keep playing Luke Shaw week in, week out, and then expecting him to be 100% fit for every game he plays. I actually thought against Brighton, he had a fairly alright game, if you know what I mean, but I don't think he was his best game for United. I really don't. I'm not sure whether the bit of fatigue is creeping in or what, but I don't think he had the best of games for Manchester United against Brighton. So I think giving him a bit of rest would be the best thing, especially in this first leg. I might actually change the formation a little bit because I actually don't like the two CDMs, but that's not the formation I want either, to be honest. You know what? We'll put the players in and then we can change the formation. So I think he will go defensive. I can see him. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not sure. Will he play Paul Pogba? Will he go with, Fred, Pogba and Fernandes? Will he go a bit more attacking? Because, you know what? Pogba was fantastic against AC Milan away from home, and it's hard to ignore that sort of performance. He practically won us that game on his own, really. He was so good. And it's hard to really go away from that. It really is hard. So for me, I think, you know, Pogba, I want to see Pogba in there. But if I had to predict what Ollie's going to do, I think we could see something like this. I think we could see Scott McTominay on the right side. I think we could see Fred on the left side. What the hell? Wilfred Ndidi. How has he got in there? I wish. I bloody wish. Scott McTominay goes in there. On this side, we see Fred. I think he will go with a McFred in that role. And then I think we could see something. Now, I think Ollie could do something like this. Because we've seen in big games that Paul Pogba has started on the left-hand side, especially when he's tried to put Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba in the same team. And we've seen it time and time again. So, for me, that's something which I could see. I think we could see tomorrow. You know, he has liked to play Pogba on the left-hand side. I actually think he has a lot more of a role when he plays down the middle. I think actually his best position probably would be that cam role, but you ain't taking that off Bruno Fernandes, not in the form he's in right now. So I think Ollie could put him on the left. I really think Pogba could be playing on the left-hand side. We've seen it in a lot of big games this season. I'm not sure if I fully agree with it, but we could see it. Then Greenwood, and then up front we go with Cavani. Now, obviously, you guys would probably be thinking a bit like, well, Kieran, you just said that, you know, Daniel James has played himself into the team with looking at his Europa League performances, and you're absolutely right. Listen, you know, Daniel James for me would be starting in this game, but the way that Pogba played in the San Siro, I just feel like Ollie's going to try and get him in. And I think if Ollie does look to put Pogba in there with Fernandes, we usually see Pogba go out to the left-hand side. And I actually think that when he's on the left-hand side, he can link up well with, you know, with the likes of Telles and fullbacks making overlapping runs. But I actually think he's much better in the middle. You know, that's where he's played for France. That's where he's played for Juventus. That's where we saw the world-class Paul Pogba that we know and love. And I just feel like playing him on the left-hand side is just wasting his talent a little bit. But he can still get into the game a little bit. I'm not saying that he'll be anonymous, because I think that's where he played against AC Milan as well. I think he did play on that left-hand side when he came on against AC Milan. So I realise you can't see that, but here is the finished 11. Here it is. So I can put it full screen for you guys. So that is my finished starting 11. I've gone with Henderson in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Telles, McTominay, Fred, Fernandes, Greenwood, Pogba, and Ederson, Cavani. So that's what I've gone with. Let me know your thoughts on that. Obviously, Brendan has said that Tuanzebe could be the right back, and you know what, he could be, especially if he wants to give Wan-Bissaka a rest. I just don't see him wanting to give Wan-Bissaka a rest. That's my only kind of thoughts and feelings going into that, going into this game. I just think that, you know, Ollie has his favourites. He has people that he trusts and relies to get the job done, and you know, Wan-Bissaka is one of those guys. You know, Wan-Bissaka is, you know, just one of those guys that he will put in the 11, in my opinion. McFred as well. We always see the McFred partnership, so you know, definitely I think those guys are gonna get in. And I think Fernandes is a pretty well picks himself. Maguire, Lindelof picks themselves. I think Cavani probably picks himself at this moment in time because Martial and Rashford are both injured, so I think Cavani pretty well picks himself. You could potentially put Greenwood up front and then put Daniel James on that right-hand side. That is something that you could do, but I just don't see Ollie doing that. I see Ollie, you know, going with this formation, starting Cavani as a spearhead up front. But I tell you what, against Brighton, Cavani had a pretty poor performance. I'm not sure if you guys would agree, but I thought Cavani was poor against Brighton. Obviously, he got taken off in the end, but I thought he was poor. I really did. He didn't really have too much of the ball. He didn't have too many touches. He didn't really, you know, get in the game. So for me, Cavani needs to pick it up. And I know he's kind of, you know, 34, 35. He's getting on middle age now. But, you know, I feel like he needs to have a bit more of an impact. Obviously, he's going to be leaving the club at the end of the season, probably, to go to Boca Juniors. But I want him to have more of an impact. I really, really do. But anyway, Connor and Mo, thanks for joining. And Adam Talk Sport, thanks for joining, guys. Really do appreciate it. Connor says, fucking beauty of a lineup. I'll tell you what, thank you very much. I mean, I just think that's what he's going to go with. That's my prediction anyway. And Mo says, will De Gea not start this game? I mean, this is the dilemma, as I said before. This is something which is completely debatable. I'm sure people have differing opinions on this. I mean, I would still go with Dean Henderson just because he's been the Europa League goalkeeper, and I wouldn't want to change that. I really don't like it when you see managers playing a certain goalkeeper throughout, the kind of first few rounds of a competition, and then they suddenly change it when it starts getting to the nitty-gritty rounds. I just think cup goalkeepers should be cup goalkeepers all the way through. You've seen it with the likes of Man City when they played like Caballero in goal. It's worked out, and it's worked before for us. In the 2017 win in the Europa League, guess who was in goal the whole time? Sergio Romero. Cup goalkeepers always seem to do well because they've had that consistent game time. So for me, I would keep Henderson, but I can understand the argument for going with David De Gea as well. So I'll bring myself back up here, and you guys can also see the lineup there. Actually, it's probably better like that. But yeah. Anyway, anyone's opinion's valid, you know what I mean? But if you haven't already as well, please do hit that like button. Really do appreciate it as always. Brennan says, Brian defended well though. Didn't give Man United space to exploit. Can't really blame Cavani for that. You can't. I mean, listen, I see the point. You really can't, blame Cavani for that, really. I think, I don't think he played that well, to be fair. I still think he could have done better in certain situations. I thought he didn't have the best of touch. I don't think we saw the same sort of movement, but 100% agree. Brian played very well defensively, and to be fair, they were kind of unlucky to concede the goals that they did. So I have to agree with you. Listen, I have to agree that Brian defended well. I have to give him credit for that. But I think Cavani could have done more in that game, in my opinion. He could have done more. Rich has joined us as well. Thanks for joining, Rich. Really do appreciate it. I'm going to be live on Rich's channel as well for the match preview on his channel for this game. So make sure you do check it out over there. I'm sure you guys will be over there after this. Box says, I thought Pogba was terrible versus Brian. Back to his sloppy play. Losing the ball, tackled and jogging. Yeah, he didn't have the best of games, to be fair. With Pogba. But I think this comment sums it up, really. I think Mo sums up my feelings on Pogba is that he's such a valuable player because he can make that bit of magic that just changes the game in your favour. And not many teams, not just in the Premier League, but in world football, have a player like that. And as simple as that. When you've got a player with that sort of ability and that can change a game from you like that and can just create a bit of quality that no other player can do in a unique way, you've got to play him. You've got to play him. So I think Mo really sums up my thoughts with that comment. And you know what? I will get people on in a bit. It won't be for long because, as I said, I'll be on Rich's stream after this, so I don't want to go on for too long. So I will be getting people on. Don't worry about that, Adam. Adam says, Bayern about to make a comeback. I actually saw that one of you guys, I think it was Box, said Muller had scored, so I think it was 2-2 in that game. But it's massive. It's a massive goal for Bayern. To be fair, conceding those 2 away goals isn't exactly the best, So that's going to be a very interesting tie. Very, very interesting. And you know what? For the sake of the Champions League and for the sake of entertainment, I want to see that game. I'd almost want to see it kind of be a draw going into the second leg because you want that ding-dong battle. But, it's interesting. Very, very interesting. Unfortunately, I'm looking at it from the outside in, and as United fans are all kind of pouring at the glass looking at it. And it's unfortunate that we couldn't get the job done against Leipzig. But, you know what? We've got to win our competition, and we've got a real chance to win this Europa League. As I said in the title, are we favourites? Let me know in the live chat and the comment section, of course, down below. Are we favourites? Are we favourites for this Europa League, guys? Are we? I think I'd have to say we are. I'd have to say we are right now. I think you're looking at teams like Arsenal and Spurs probably just behind. But I reckon we're the favourites going into this Europa League. I think we can win this. I really, really do. Brennan says, wouldn't need that 20% if the other 80% didn't create a match that needed saving. It's a fair point, to be fair. Obviously, if the other players did their jobs, yeah, obviously Pogba wouldn't have to do that. But at the same time, you've got to credit Paul Pogba where credit's due. What he's done. I mean, the amount of times in games, just recently, the AC Milan game in the round of 16, he changed that game for us by that one bit of quality. And you've got to credit Paul Pogba. He does seem to step up most of the time in the big moments. He does seem to be a bit of a big game player, at least recently anyway. So you've got to give him credit for that, man. You've got to give him credit. Mo says that's true, but let's be honest, Donny can't offer that 20%. Overall, he might not lose the ball as much, but can he change a game single-handedly? To be fair, of what I've seen of Donny van der Beek, I don't think he really, I don't think he has that much of a impact on the game as Paul Pogba does. But to be fair, I want to see Van der Beek do well, man. I wouldn't mind him seeing him start in this game. I mean, thinking about Ollie, I don't think he's going to do it because I think he's going to go to his old favourites. But I'd love to see Van der Beek in this game. I'd love to see it. I really would. For you guys saying I think we're favourites, yeah, I think that's fair. We were favourites last season as well. Didn't quite work out that one. But you know what? I think this season we've got a better squad. We seem to be a lot more consistent in the Europa League especially. So I think it could be our year this year. I don't want to sound like a Liverpool fan, but I think it could be our year this year to bring some Europa League glory. But for me, winning a trophy is the biggest thing for Ollie. It's the biggest thing for Ollie, it really is. Because all the stick, all the talk about Ollie not being the man, not being the right guy, I just want to see him lift that trophy. And I think in this stage of the rebuild or the kind of development of this new Man United team, I just feel like Ollie needs a trophy. You know, we need to see a bit of silverware. Sorry, I've already read that one out. Rich says, happy with the win versus Brian. Don't understand negativity. Everyone else dropped points. It was a massive win because of that. Because of that fact, it was a massive, massive win. The fact that everyone dropped points. It would have been nice if Wolves could have done us a job against West Ham. But you know what? Being 9 points clear in top 4 with 8 games to go, it looks very secure. It does look very secure. The Premier League can throw up some weird results. So, again, that's something which we have to be careful of and we need to focus on ourselves. But you know what? It's a very, very good place to be in. And if you said to me after that Spurs game where we got walloped 6-1 that we'd be 9 points clear in top 4 with 8 games to go, I would have bitten your hand off. I would have absolutely bitten your hand off. 9 points clear in 9 points clear in top 4, sorry. Yeah, I think we're about 4 points clear in second. This is the same room, obviously. You guys have probably recognised this room from streams I've done previously during this lockdown period. I just moved back in. I kind of thought it was... It's just a bit less cluttered. It's a bit more of a, aesthetically pleasing background, I think they call it. Mo says, nah, mate, let's be real with ourselves. Donny is quality, but when Pogba's on form, there's no better midfielder in the world. I think, he's one of those players where on his day, there's no one that's better than him. There is really. Box says, Pogba best in the world, not for me. I mean, I agree that, listen, Pogba overall, I don't think he's the best in the world, but on his day, he is unbelievable. But it's true. We need to see more consistency. We need to see more consistency from Paul Pogba. But on his day, he's so, so good. Having that player on your side is so valuable. So valuable, in my opinion. But I'm going to give my score prediction. And then once I give my score prediction, I will open the floor to you guys if you want to come on and have your say for the next kind of 15, 20 minutes or so. But my score prediction going into this game, and don't hold me to this, because I'm always wrong, always right. Well, sometimes wrong, sometimes right, but always certain, and that's the main thing. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Manchester United. I know, I know what you're saying, Kieran. Why can't we keep a clean sheet? I just don't see it. But to be fair, I didn't see it when we played AC Milan. But you know what? We did keep a clean sheet in that game. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. I think we'll get a penalty. I think Bruno Fernandes will slot that away. But I think, with the way we play and... the way that Granada haven't really had the best of seasons in La Liga, I think it's going to be tough, but I can see us putting on a very good performance, very similar to what we saw in Sociedad. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. I'm sticking my chest out. 3-1 win to United. Bring it on. And listen, the best thing for me is if we get most of the job done in the first leg. So we can, maybe look to change the team a little bit, or, look to kind of just not have that panic in the second leg, because if we come away from that game with a 0-0 or a 1-0 win or a 1-0 defeat, just a result that doesn't really help anyone, if we come away with that, it's going to be just a shambles going into that game at Old Trafford. And this season at Old Trafford, we've been up and down, so I want to get most of the job done going into that game, I really do. Box says Maguire hat-trick of headers. He's going with a 6-0 win. I love that prediction. I'll absolutely love it. That would be well and truly tie over if that happens. So I'm hoping. So yeah, 6-0 win. And Maguire hat-trick of headers. I'll tell you what, Maguire's due a goal. He's due a goal. He scored one for England. So he's in goal-scoring form. So hopefully he can get one. So yeah, let me know your score predictions. But I'm going to put I'll put the link in the live chat right now. So if anyone wants to join in and have their say, I know Adam wanted to come on. If anyone wants to join and have their say, please do. And we'll be on for the next kind of 15 minutes or so. As I said, I won't be live for too much longer because I will be on Rich's channel after this. So make sure you do check it out. And also make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's try and get to 10 likes on the stream. But thanks to everyone who is tuning in. Really appreciate it. Mo goes with a 2-0 win to Manchester United. I like that. I like what I see. I like what I see from these predictions, I'm telling you. So yeah, 2-0 United. And I don't think that would be job done, but it'd be well on our way to job done. You know, I think keeping a clean sheet in this game is the main thing. I personally don't think we're going to do that. But I think keeping a clean sheet in this game is massive. Because if we can, you know, score away goals and not concede any, going into that second leg, we're definitely in the ascendancy. And I think the biggest thing is that if we can have all the pressure and all the incentive or all the initiative has to be with Granada, then you know it puts us in a very strong position because we hold all the cards. All the ball is in our court or the ball's in their court. So they've got to play. They've got to make things happen. I think that's what we have to have. That's why we've got to see this game. That's the situation it's got to be in. Adam, we've got Adam joining. Thanks for joining, Adam. Appreciate it. Always good to have you on, my friend. Hopefully you're good.
Not really.
Yeah, we'll be. Oh right, okay. But obviously, yeah, Bayern not in the best of times. I saw that Mbappe has gone 3-2 up. Oh no, not Mbappe's gone 3-2 up. Bayern gone 3-2 up. So yeah, sorry. PSG gone 3-2 up. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, anyway. I know. Dazza won't be happy. I'm sure if Dazza's doing a live reaction to it. So if you want to go check out Dazza's live reaction to any of the goals, he's doing a live stream on his channel. But yeah, talking about the game we're involved in tomorrow night, the big one, in the biggest European competition. You know, what is the Champions League? What is the Champions League when the Europa League is on Thursday nights?
Champions League when we have the Europa League.
Exactly.
No, but realistically, are we the favourites? I feel like because teams like Leicester and Rangers have been knocked out, Arsenal, I think they're going to lose to Slavia, if I'm going to be honest. I just feel like Slavia are going to be a surprise team. I feel like we are the favourites. I feel like with quality, we are the favourites. We should beat Granada, but then again, this is Man United we're talking about. They can beat Man City next game and then probably lose to Macclesfield Town the next. So
exactly.
But when I look at it, it should be a win. And can I just say my lineup?
Yeah, go on, mate.
It's going to be Henderson in goal because I feel like he's going to start the European competitions. Right back, you know what? This is a surprise one. I've gone Brandon Williams. I think he might get a game.
I'll tell you what, somebody else, I can't remember who, but somebody else in the comments actually went Brandon Williams. So,
Kieran, we got to have it. Oh wait, Bailly's injured. Oh no, he's got COVID. So it looks like that'll have to be this. I would actually put Twanzebe in there. With
a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that tonight. Put Twanzebe at centre back.
And you know how I feel about this pairing, the Brazilian Jemba. We haven't really got options. I personally do it where it's like the midfield I need to turn off my phone. I would do it where it's the midfield versus Brighton, where it's Fred, Pogba, Fernandes. I just feel like that makes the best sense. Greenwood on the right, yeah. Cavani, I wasn't too impressed with Cavani, I'll be honest. I thought he looked a bit off colour that game.
Yeah.
But it should be a win for United. Like, if we don't win against Granada, then there's got to be some problems. But, you know, At the end of the day, I think we should go for the Europa League. Now, I've changed my feelings on the Europa League because I feel like I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like surely we're 9 points clear of like Chelsea and West Ham and Spurs, 11 points clear of Liverpool. So I feel like top four we should, maybe not second nailed in, but I feel like we should have top four secured. So yeah, go for the Europa League. Hopefully we win it, just so then we can say we've won a trophy, you know. But let's see what happens. Personally, I have a bit of a conspiracy theory.
Go on, I love this. Go on.
Could De Gea now be the one that's frozen out? Could Ollie now think De Gea, we don't need you anymore? Puts Henderson starting for Prem, and now De Gea's going to be starting in the Europa League.
I tell you what, it could. It's not a far-fetched theory, I reckon.
Owen will probably put a 24-hour party hearing that. Oh, we're not yet. We're not out of lockdown yet.
Mate, he's probably the one that set up the theory. He's probably the one that made the theory. But yeah, no, I tell you what, Henderson has been very, very good, and I think Ollie has come out in support of him. So you never know. We'll have to see. I think his selection against Granada will be massively telling.
I don't know if you've heard the news, but apparently De Gea might be leaving or something. For me, I have to be honest, I think De Gea is a legend for United. And I know I'm 12, so I don't know anything about legends. But with De Gea, I'm not lying, he's probably the best player I've seen to play for Man United since I've supported them. So in 2015 to the year now, so 6 years, De Gea's been the best player I've seen. Obviously before Bruno. But there's seasons where we could have honestly finished 13th or 14th, but De Gea alone has made us finish like 6th. You know? I'll never forget that game 2 years ago via Arsenal.
Yeah, he was. That was one of the most brilliant performances from a player I've ever seen, just regardless of whether a goalkeeper or not.
You know, let's say you supported United in 2015. I know you supported them long before then, but let's just say you did.
Yeah, go on.
Would you say De Gea is the best player you've seen in a Man U shirt for the years you've been supporting him? Or would you, I don't think you can give it to Bruno just yet.
I think you know, he's got to be up there. I think I'd have to say yeah on that one. You know, if I've been supporting Man United from about 2015 or whatever,
also,
I think he's definitely got to be up there.
There's only one reason I came on. Ha ha ha, Liverpool.
Hey, to be fair, even though they're in the Champions League, if you get beat like that, what's the point? I know they're going to say, well, you're in the Europa League, but if you're going to get whooped like that to Real Madrid without Varane and Ramos.
You want to diss the Europa League, you'll be hearing that next season. You'll have to hear that anthem.
Well, exactly. Unless they win it this season, God forbid. Mo says hopefully we get to see Solskjaer or Tire for a few minutes tomorrow. Hopefully we get to see a few young players.
Another youth player signed a contract.
Yeah, is it what's his name? Savage.
Oh, Zidane Iqbal. His name's Zidane Iqbal.
Oh right, yeah.
And you know why I'm happy about that?
Yeah, go on.
For the first time, and I think in your lifetime, we're going to see a player who's Pakistani and play for United.
Yeah, well, there you go. That is quality. That
the only
is
problem
quality.
is he's not going to play for Pakistan. Only if he's crap enough.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, do they have a national team? Do they...
Well, funny, Pakistan national team's been banned because they've been paying players to play for them that aren't even from Pakistan.
Oh, right. That'll go down well, then.
Well, with the lineup, yeah, Man United should win. And, you know, what can I say? If we lose to Granada... Hold on, let me just check the La Liga standings, because I know Granada's struggling. They're like 8th to 10th or something.
Yeah, I don't think their recent results, I don't think, have been that great. Apparently, Chelsea 2-0 up. There you go.
Oh, God! Come on,
but to be fair, Well, Brendan makes a point, to be fair. He says that he hopes Chelsea go through
Ah,
as it will have a negative impact on their Premier League season. I mean,
I'll be
I think
honest.
that's a fair point. It's a fair point.
I'll,
What do you reckon to
I'll, be,
that?
I'll be honest. The team I want to win Champions League is Madrid, just because you know my phone. I swear to God, everything that goes wrong when I'm on stream. But I mean, if we lose to Granada, oh yeah, Rash is injured.
Yeah, Rashford went off injured against Brighton. I think I saw he was like
This
hobbling
is
down the
all right.
tunnel.
I'm
So I
saying this
reckon.
now. All he needs to do something about this. Hey, yo, Rich. I'll send you a message on Insta. Can you check it, please? But this is a problem with Ollie. He keeps playing Rashford when he keeps having injury. Heck, he might not even have recovered from the injury he had last year. And
Well,
Ollie
this is the
keeps
thing.
playing. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Ollie keeps playing him. And how old's Rashford? Like 23, 22? He's young,
Mm,
right? I'm saying it now. If Ollie's not careful enough, Rashford might have to end his football career by the time he's 26. Because the amount of injuries he's getting, or he's getting an injury on his shoulder, his leg, it's not really good for a player his age. So I feel like Ollie needs to just say to Rashford, just sit out for a bit, because you have to agree, if we keep playing Rashford, but we don't want to admit it because we think Rashford's the future of this club,
mm.
he could not even have a football career by the time he's 26 with all these injuries. It could be like, what's his name? The guy who's really good but had too many injuries.
Well, it's happened to quite a few players. I mean, it's players like Michael Owen and these guys. It happens when
Yeah,
you see players that burst onto the scene and then they get some
people are going to
injuries and
diss
then
Rashford
like
saying, I get his decision making's bad, but if you take Rashford out of that team, he is a very big part of that United team. As much
yeah
as I love Amad Diallo and I praise him, I don't know if he's going to be the future or not because one goal does not. I mean, heck, my dad thought Federico Makeda was going to be the future. Now the guy's probably selling kebabs in Greece or something. It's
yeah
really, you have to worry with Rashford.
yeah.
Also,
I mean,
Martial's injured now.
yeah,
Why
he's
the
in a
hell
knee
are
brace.
why are all our forwards getting injured? Oh my god.
I mean, to be fair, I think the Martial one was he was on international break when he got injured, so you can't blame Ollie for that one, I guess. But yeah, I think the
Yeah,
Rashford one, you're totally right. We've seen it with players down the years when they've gotten injuries, and they've kind of burst onto the scene young, gotten injuries, and then they never really recovered. For example, I remember Jack Wilshere. I'm sure you guys
oh,
remember. He was someone who he got injuries, and he was someone who everyone was tipping to be England's version of Xavi and Iniesta, that sort of caliber of player, and he
Xavi.
just got too many injuries. He got too many injuries, and
Well,
he was never the same player. So you've got to be careful with these guys. I
yeah, I'm
100%
going
agree. It's a good
to,
point.
you know, you, also, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's not really had a big injury yet, but oh my god, the dude's playing too much football. The guy's
Mm.
probably, the guy's probably tired, not only from being better than Alexander Arnold, but from playing too much football. Because, you know, realistically, let's say you're Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and you're playing lots of football. Yeah, we love to play football. You know, but over time you're gonna be like, okay, boss, please, I'm tired. Oh,
Exactly.
that's
Exactly. I mean, I agree. You've got to manage players properly, and that's why I feel like we need to give Luke Shaw a rest,
all
and it's
right.
good we've
I
got
have a
Sellers.
question for you,
Yeah, go on.
Kieran. Even if we do finish second, let's say you're the new director of football, whoever his name is, and
God forbid.
you can bring Nagelsmann in. Would you sack Ollie? That's the question.
You know what? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to that, and,
To
and
be
it's
fair,
because.
you know that
Uh,
I've been ranting on Ollie, obviously, because when
yeah,
we
of
lose
course,
games,
yeah.
I go on a rant. But with Ollie, realistically, can any other United manager do better than him? Like, you can say, oh, Mourinho brought trophy to us. he shouldn't be sacked. Fam, Mourinho looked more depressed than an antidepressant itself. Plus, his football was just not too good. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Whenever you were watching Mourinho's Man United, you were probably bored watching it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, everyone got bored by the end, but I was just bored by the whole
I
circus.
felt like throwing a remote at the TV when I saw Scott McTominay starting at centre back.
Well, exactly.
You
That's
know,
just kind of shooting
so
himself in the foot.
he's also gotten rid of players we didn't want. Lukaku, yeah, he's become a good player at AC Milan. I mean Inter Milan. What the hell am I talking about? But
Oh, well, Milan.
realistically, he didn't want to be here. Same with what's he called? Sanchez. You know, he's gotten players out that we wanted out. All we need now is for Phil Jones to go. But then again, the possibility of Phil Jones going is, who would buy Phil Jones? We'd have to pay somebody to take.
I tell you what, I'm going to tell you this though. I actually think there'd be clubs out there that could benefit from Phil Jones at centre back, and I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but I actually think that Phil Jones gets disrespected sometimes just because he doesn't play. I actually think there'd be some clubs out there that would benefit from having him in the back.
Are you serious?
What do you mean?
Oh God, Phil Jones is arguably the worst player I've seen.
But I actually think, to be fair to him,
as a striker, he could be brilliant. But as a centre back, he's terrible.
No, but listen. I actually think that Phil Jones, yes, he's prone to a mistake, but he had some years at United where actually he was not too bad, and he's still, he's not even 30 yet. He would be. I reckon if Newcastle had Phil Jones at centre back now, they wouldn't concede as many goals.
Well, Newcastle are stupid, so they'd probably get Phil Jones. But
yeah, well, there you go.
One player that I want to see out. Listen, I listened to Gary Neville today, and he was talking about Jesse Lingard. Obviously scored a great goal v Wolves. He's been injured since I was a United fan. Well, if a player's been out injured for 6 years, then there's got to be a problem.
Not a bad job sitting on the bench for Man United earning $100,000 a week. It's not bad.
With Lingard, there's talking, should Man United bring him back, and then could he be a useful part in that Man United team? And for me, the answer is no. I would not bring Lingard back. He's been brilliant, but I don't think he fits in our team, because he's on like number. He's playing at like number 10 for that full time PSG one. But he's been playing number 10 for West Ham. So Lingard's not going to get ahead of Bruno Fernandes. Let's just get that straight. West Ham, he could be a great player, and Man United could profit from that. They could either get a lot of money from West Ham and get maybe 40 million, or I know this is crazy, but they could offer Lingard on a permanent deal to get Declan Rice. Actually, no.
I think, to be honest, Jesse Lingard right now, if he continues this form throughout the rest of the season, I reckon we could get at least 35 million for Lingard, because the way Lingard actually plays for West Ham and what I've heard from the chairman and stuff. Yeah, but it should be a good one actually. He'll be doing a preview.
I'll send him a message on his channel.
But yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen with that. But all I know, yeah, go on.
With Phil Jones, not gonna lie, I'd rather have the shopkeeper who owns the corner shop to be the centre back than Phil Jones. Could he probably do a better job? Let's take into account, right? I'm going to talk about the Granada game because I've gone way off topic.
But we're going to wrap up in a few minutes anyway, so yeah, I don't mind. Whatever you want.
Okay. One player that I wouldn't be surprised to see start. Oh wait, no, he's on loan. I was going to say maybe Ethan Laird could start, but The guy's gone on loan.
Yeah, we just sent him off.
Right. Do you know Bubble Joe? He wants to join the Forest. Take him. How much do you want for Bill Jones? Because we'll have to pay you, it looks like. But, really,
Go on, what is your prediction for the game? What's your prediction?
4-1.
4-1 United.
If Ahmad starts, he gets a goal. If Ahmad starts, he gets a goal. Bruno gets a goal. Probably 2 goals, a penalty and a non-penalty goal. And then, do you want to know who else gets a goal?
Go on.
Greenwood. You know.
Hey, he's on decent form right now, Greenwood. He's on decent form right now.
McTominay, I've changed my opinions on McTominay. He's better than Fred, you know, and my question to you is, with McTominay, could he be part of a United title winning side? Could he be the player in midfield?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I can't see McTominay lifting the Premier League. But listen, he's still learning. He's still growing as a player. There is a potential there. I think he does have to improve quite a bit. But I think United, with a good squad around him, could potentially be in a squad that lifts a title. However, I think there'd have to be better players around him. I feel like he could be a squad player in a title-chasing team. I'm not sure whether he could be a starter. That's my opinions on him.
You know,
Matthew's joined us. He says, putting McTominay in the thumbnail, you have no shame.
no
Obviously,
shame,
he's McTominay's favourite player. So, I don't understand why he's saying that, because he's McTominay. He loves McTominay. I don't understand why he would say that.
You've been caught out there, Mr. Matthew Kyle.
Yeah, he caught out, mate. Caught out. We all know Kieran has no shame if you've seen his bedroom. It's not even my bedroom. It's not even my bedroom.
Why are you so obsessed with a guy's bedroom?
How have we got to this? How have we managed to get to this? But anyway, on that note, yeah, go on, Alan. You have the final say. We're going to wrap up after this. But you have the final say.
I think it is going to be a Sociedad type game. But I have no confidence in this team keeping clean sheets when they allow Danny Welbeck to score. So yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, that was atrocious. But anyway, 4-1, I'll say that all day long. I'm going with 3-1. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you all head over to Rich Sports as well for his preview. Great stuff over there. And it will be a good preview, I'm sure. But anyway, and also, sorry, make sure you check out Adam Talk Sport as well. Good stuff over there. And check out all the channels that we usually mention on this stream. But until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you after the Granada game. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. And yeah, hopefully you keep well. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers, guys. And yeah, I'll see you in a bit.